Two. European. Hey.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
Nice to meet you. Please sit here.
Hi, welcome. Hi.
There. Big yellow chair.
Here's a mic.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, we're glad to have you here. You introduced the movie for the people in the auditorium, right?
I did indeed, yes.
And how was that?
It was great. The crowd has been amazing. I heard that they were sleeping outside in the queue from 4 o'clock this morning. So it's great to feel.
Since yesterday.
Since yesterday.
Yeah, they got here 10 o'clock in the night.
It's amazing, and it's exactly why Pete makes these movies. He makes them for the fans because he's one of them, and I've been one of those guys. When Lord of the Rings was on, I was out there cheering, and so it's amazing to get to be part of it.
And everyone sings Misty Mountains. How was that?
Do you know what? It took me a while to figure out what it was they were singing. Otherwise, I would have joined in.
Yeah, can you sing a little to us? Because Thiago, that worked with us, he says, "Oh, please ask him to sing a little of Misty Mountains."
Far over the misty mountains.
Yeah, there you go. And there's a lot of people cosplaying as a Thorin, right?
There was one guy who was dressed as Thorin. You could have put him in the movie. His costume was that good.
Yeah. And how was this contact with the Brazilian fans?
Say again?
How was this contact with the Brazilian fans? Have you ever imagined that your Brazilian fans would be like that?
No, as I said in the room, the German fans are extraordinarily enthusiastic, but the Brazilians are giving the Germans a run for their money. I have to say, the enthusiasm, the way that they've dressed up and come along and supported us. I mean, look at the guys behind us now. They're amazing.
Can you give a hello to them?
Hi, guys. See.
And I believe you received as a gift a T-shirt from the team, the soccer team from Brazil, football team, right?
I did. I'm gonna sign it, and we're gonna run a little competition for one of the fans. But we haven't figured out what the competition is yet. But it was amazing.
All right. You know why it's the number 10?
I heard all kinds of things. Is he the best player on the field, or is he the captain?
Actually,
of the
it's
team?
not the best player. It's basically it's always the captain.
The captain.
Yeah, because we had on the World Cup, like Pelé was number 10, Rivelino and Zico. All the most famous players, they always are the number 10 on our football national team. And now Richard Armitage is also number 10.
Shall I take that as a compliment?
Yeah, sure.
I will.
All right. So it's the end of this journey. How was that doing 3 movies? And Thorin has a central part in this third one because of the madness of the mountain. How was that experience for you?
It's really rare to get the opportunity to play one character over 3 movies, one story, which is told effectively over 3 years. It's really unusual, and it's been great because we've been able to slowly introduce the audience to the character and play the character in a kind of drip feed. So the final moments of the battle, we really care about him.
And what you're gonna miss about New Zealand and about all this journey?
I'm gonna miss the Pinot Noir wine, although it's widely available. Obviously, it's the most beautiful, amazing country landscape-wise, but it's the people that I'll miss the most. The friends that I made, the dwarves that came together, but Peter and Fran and Philippa and their family, because they made us feel like one of the family, for sure.
And you think we're gonna see another Tolkien adaptation in the future?
I don't think you'll see another one from Peter Jackson. If the film rights become available, because they're not available at the moment. Everything that is available to be filmed has been filmed. But if they do become available, I think The Silmarillion would make an amazing television series.
Oh.
And Peter now is putting together the expanded version of the film. Do you know what parts are in it, or is not figured out yet?
Yeah, there's a couple of very, very exciting scenes that didn't quite make it into the final movie. But you don't notice it. It wasn't until after the film had finished that I realized the scenes were missing. So I've got a feeling the extended cut will be around 4 hours long.
4 hours long?
4, yeah.
Is that most dramatic parts or action scenes?
There's a couple of action sequences. There's a little bit of extra fighting, but there's also a very key scene which I can't tell you about because it will spoil the story for people that haven't read the book. But there's a key scene at the very end of Thorin's story which is missing. and it was very beautiful. It was a beautiful set, and I think that will be something to look forward to.
And everybody in Lord of the Rings and movies in general, they get to keep something from the set. I believe that Elijah Wood and Andy Serkis, they kept the ring. They got the ring from Peter Jackson. What did you receive, or what did you get from the set?
I was given Orcrist, the sword that I used during the fight,
Yeah.
and the Oaken Shield, and the map and the key. So I have a lot of goodies. The thing about the map is that it's the one that I used in the film, and it's got my fingerprints, which are soaked in blood on the map.
All right.
Which is very cool.
Ele falou basicamente aqui, we're gonna translate a little because not everybody speaks English. O Richard Armitage, ele disse aqui que ele ganhou a Orcrist, que é a espada que ele usa, numa das cenas do filme, numa das cenas climáticas. A gente perguntou o que ele ganhou do set, porque tem muita gente que sempre ganha um presente quando filma O Senhor dos Anéis. Ele conseguiu ficar com a Orcrist, entre outros presentes, ele ficou com um dos mapas. Ele ganhou um monte de coisa lá, porque todos os atores ganham alguma coisa. O Elijah Wood ganhou um anel, o Andy Serkis, quando fez O Senhor dos Anéis, também ganhou um anel. E ele disse aqui que a recepção das pessoas é incrível. E eu expliquei para ele por que ele tinha ganhado a camisa 10 do Brasil. Ele não tinha entendido direito, apesar de ser inglês, ele não tinha entendido por que ele ganhou a camisa 10 da seleção brasileira, que agora ele ganhou aqui e ele vai assinar, que a gente vai dar num concurso que a gente vai fazer. So, what do you have, future projects? Do you have something? I believe you're going back to theater, right?
I already did that this year. I was on stage through the summer in the Crucible, which we filmed, and actually will be, I believe, on a kind of worldwide release to download early next year, perhaps around February time. I'm producing something of my own, which is based on a true story. It's going to be set and filmed in Ireland in the late 1800s. It's a true story. And I'm also going to be doing a thing called Pilgrimage, which is about, it's an 11th century story of a crusade to return a holy relic to Rome. So, and I'll be speaking ancient French.
Ancient French?
Yeah, which I've never spoken before, so that'll be fun.
And how is going to be the process of learning that? Or
I have
how you
no
already
idea.
got? Okay, and well, more about The Hobbit. Can you say like a scene that was really memorable to you that you're going to remember forever?
Yeah, I think the build-up to the battle on the battlements was something I remember very clearly. And it's interesting seeing the little comments that are coming up on the screen because a lot of people are saying, I will not have war, I will have peace. And it's one of the things that I think was really interesting about the movie, that Thorin's kind of stubbornness and his pig-headedness and his short-sightedness gives rise to war, which is such a dangerous situation based on the opinion of one man. And I think it's one of the lessons that Tolkien is kind of maybe teaching the children that he was reading this book to. So the moment where he says, I will have war, is just such a turning point and one of my favorite scenes.
And there's a key scene, dramatic scene, when Thorin's in the mountain, when he realizes all the madness. How was that shot? Was that green screen, or was that difficult to shoot, or was like one day
that was the biggest experiment of the movie for me. In the script, it was just a stage direction, and the stage direction said Thorin sees his own reflection and realizes what he's become. That was the only thing that was written on the page. And Peter came to me and said, I don't really know how to shoot this. Do you have any ideas? And I said, well, not really, but let's build a green set with a ramp, and we'll just try and do something. So he put music on. I had some stunt guys that tied ropes around my ankles, and I was trying to wade through the gold, and then I was trying to climb the ramp, and they were pulling me back. So I had no idea what he was going to do with it. So that was the one experiment of the movie.
All right. Lord of the Rings, the franchise is always famous by the fellowship of the actors that come together for shooting this, because it's a long shoot and they become kind of a family, and you get to know New Zealand and the wines and everything. What's the most valuable thing that you learned from the castmates that you had there, and the Dwarf company and the friendships that you end up making there?
I think I really honed the art of patience. Because, when you're there for such a long time and you bond very quickly and you get tired of people quite quickly, and it's a very intense filming process, and we were all, most of the time hot and uncomfortable. So learning how to tolerate my friends and just be supportive of them before I headbutted them was a big lesson to me.
And is there like a process of rehearsing because in movies like this scale, they are so huge and you don't have like weeks to rehearse and get to know each other. What was that like? Did you believe that you get to really know your teammates, the other dwarves, or was like that is basically a CGI movie and you have to fit in. You don't have a lot of time to learn what you're doing. How was that like?
We had an 8-week dwarf boot camp right at the beginning of the shooting. So we learned how to move like a dwarf. We learned how to move in a kind of military way because they wanted the dwarves to feel like a military pack. So we did lots of improvisation, lots of movement, lots of weapons training, stunt training, which was a really good way to get to know each other. When it came to the Battle of the Five Armies, Pete was filming for the entire period while we were learning the fight sequences in the stunt hangar. So we would learn our pieces and then come to set and show him what we'd learned so that he could sort of plan where to use it. So it was like an overlapping process. But the length of the battle at the end was an unknown quantity. The way I describe it is like running a marathon and starting, but they don't tell you how many miles you're going to have to run until you're at the finishing line.
Mm-hmm. If you weren't Thorin, what character would you like to be in all the Middle-earth universe?
I think I'd like to be Gollum.
Oh.
I think he's one of the most fascinating, interesting characters that Tolkien created, and that voice is, everyone's got a Gollum voice. Although Andy Serkis has absolutely defined Gollum, and people try to do it, but I think it looks like he had a lot of fun playing him.
How would be your Gollum voice? Have you ever thought how would be your Gollum voice?
No, and I'm not going to have a go. Nice try.
Yeah, I have to try. Yesterday, Sean Astin and Brad Dourif talk about how passionate Peter Jackson is. So, how was you to work with him? How this passion affects the work? They say how he controls 7 teams at the same time, and he acts with you, and he always there. So.
Well, first of all, let me say I'm a huge fan of Sean Astin and Brad Dourif. I think they created amazing characters in that movie, and it's because of their work that we are sitting here now, and Peter's work has been such a success. But yeah, at one point I thought there were 3 versions of Peter Jackson. I thought there were 3 people because he does the workload of 3 people. I think he sleeps for about 2 hours a night, if that. He's constantly editing. He's constantly rethinking things. He's an amazing guy, and his passion and commitment is second to none. And he was re-editing the film till about the last few hours before it was delivered and premiered in London. So he's extraordinary.
Well, we were very fortunate to have the movie here, to have you here. So thank you very much for being here at Comic-Con. How do you like the fair and the city so far?
It's amazing. I'm really happy to be sitting in a giant yellow omelette-colored chair.
Yeah.
Yellow's definitely not my color.
Yeah, it's
no,
like
you
a
look
theme.
good. Yeah.
It's like a theme for
It
omelette
is.
and
Jaundice.
And the city. How about the city?
It's amazing. I've seen so much of it from my hotel window. No, I'm serious. We went out last night actually, and it's a really beautiful city. I love the modern architecture, and I had one of the most incredible meals I've ever eaten in my life last night.
Oh yeah, that's great. Your first time in Brazil?
First time, but not the last.
All right. Hope you come back soon.
Me too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
E esse foi o Richard Armitage aqui no estúdio do Omelete. A gente volta daqui a pouquinho.